this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Matthew 5:16's Morning Pep Talk. Yes, we are so back, and I missed this. I missed recording, and I missed seeing you live. So, again, the why behind this morning pep talk is for us to learn from the different characters in the Bible. These are ordinary men and women who had an encounter with an extraordinary God. And it is my prayer that we will learn from their wisdom, from their faith, from the ups and downs that these people have experienced and have decided to put their trust in God. Yes, it is again my prayer that you will be able to learn from this and be able to apply this even today or in the near future. So our character for today is the unclean man. Unclean man, yes. And it is my desire that you will really be able to relate somehow to his story, and we be able to use whatever he has taught us in our lives. So, again, the story for today will be the character of the unclean man. This story is actually found in the different books of the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But I am citing it today from the book of Mark, chapter 1, verses 40 to 42. And let me read to you. From verse 40, a man with leprosy came to him and begged him on his knees. He said, "If you are willing, you can make me clean." Verse 41, filled with compassion, Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. "I am willing," he said, "be clean." And verse 42, immediately the leprosy left him and he was clean. So have you actually ever been around something or someone that is quoted as unclean? Yung sobrang dumi nung maybe a place, and you don't want to be in that place kasi nga ang dumi talaga eh. Parang if you stay there for any longer or stay close to that place any longer or that person any longer, they're feeling mo parang mahahawa ka dun sa environment or mahahawa ka dun sa pagiging madumi niya. And so you just tend to go away from that person or from that place that is considered as unclean. And yes, ganun po yung ating character ngayon na pag-aaralan natin. He is known as the unclean in the Bible. You might actually be asking, how did this man become unclean? Well, according to the scripture, this man has leprosy. And back in the days of Jesus, when someone has leprosy, then he is considered as unclean because leprosy is a very defiling disease. It is a disease that is contagious. It is a disease that people will see physically in you, in your skin. So, madaling ma-identify if meron kang leprosy. And people with leprosy are considered unclean and put into isolation. Nilalayo sila from the surroundings of people who doesn't have leprosy. So, it is so sad actually to understand that if we dig down deeper on this text, that this man with leprosy was only known for his issues. He was only known for his disease. It wasn't even mentioned what was his name. It wasn't even mentioned kung may family ba siya. It wasn't even mentioned if he was actually a kind man. It wasn't mentioned kung ano yung gifts niya, sino siya magaling. It was hindi nga rin nabanggit if he was rich or ano ba yung position niya before. It was only mentioned, he was only identified by his disease. And how sad could that be? When people or when this world would only be knowing you according to your struggle and not according to your gifts that God has given to you. That is very sad. That's why this man, the unclean man, had enough of it. Nansawa siya. So he did something that is very bold. Very bold because he came near Jesus, who is deemed clean. The unclean came near the clean. And according to the Levitical law, if someone who is unclean came or went near someone who is clean at least 50 paces, then the clean person has the right to stone the unclean person. At ang ibig sabihin nun, there is risk for death. And so, but Jesus did not do that when he came in, when the unclean man, the man with leprosy, came near him. And also in the Levitical law, it is said na kapag lalapit ka sa someone who is clean, you will have to shout unclean, unclean twice so that people will actually be going away from you para hindi sila mahawa sa'yo. So, way back pala, meron ng social distancing, no? Meron na ring isolation, meron na ring quarantine, meron na ring contagious disease. So what we are actually segue lang, what we are actually experiencing right now is not something new to God, not something new to Jesus. He has already dealt with it and had already victory against it. So going back to the unclean man, it was actually mentioned in Leviticus 13 verse 45 that anyone with such a defiling disease must wear thorn clothes, let their hair be unkempt, cover the lower part of their face, and cry out, unclean, unclean. Yun po ang ating basis for what I have mentioned earlier na kailangan nilang sumigaw ng unclean, unclean. They have people with leprosy had to shout their issue or their concern para maging aware yung mga people around them. And this got me thinking, what if this actually happens today? It doesn't happen because yung contagious disease that we have right now is treated with much confidentiality. Hindi naman sila nag-shout kahit saan na ayaw positive and positive. Or if we actually look into something deeper about this, it's not just physical illness. What if we people have to, para mabuhay lang tayo, para makalabas tayo, what if we have to shout kung ano man yung struggle na meron tayo? What if, like, for example, I will have to shout, selfish, selfish, para alam nyo na dumadating na ako? What if I have to shout, liar, liar, para alam nyo na dumadating na ako at pwede kayong makaiwas sa akin? Diba? It is so good that it doesn't happen right now already because God has already redeemed us. But somehow, maybe we are not shouting it out loud, but we know it in our hearts that we are undergoing those struggles. And so, this is actually an invitation to do the same what this unclean man did. He went to Jesus. Let me give you a quick mnemonics. Track Jesus. Take the risk and come to Jesus. Take the risk and come to Jesus. He took the risk kahit na baka pwede siyang mamatay for breaking the law. Kasi nga, pwede siyang ma-stone to death for breaking the law. But still, he took the risk and he came to Jesus. Coming to Jesus is actually a risk also to Jesus because according to the Bible, whatever is clean, if it touches something that is unclean, will become unclean. But because Jesus and our God is sovereign over anything and everything, even uncleanliness, they are sovereign over with. So it didn't happen na yung malinis na Panginoon natin ay nadumihan. What actually happened is that the unclean man, because he came and asked Jesus to make him clean, became clean. So the same way, also, you can take the risk and come to Jesus and ask him to make you clean. And if you can relate to that unclean man who've had enough of living in isolation, tagged as just unclean or tagged only by his struggle and not by his gift or not by how God defined him, then I invite you and I challenge you and I encourage you to do the same that this unclean man did. Track Jesus. Take the risk and come to Jesus because Jesus is more than willing to take you in. Jesus is more than willing to clean you, to wash you, and make you clean. Jesus is more than willing to do that, only if you will take the risk and come to Him. Again, thank you very much for joining me today. It is my prayer that you will really take the risk and come to Jesus. Enough of all the isolation, enough of all the struggles. We will have more of it in this life, but the ones that you have been struggling with for the longest time, enough of it. Come to Jesus and ask Him to make you clean. If this video is actually helpful to you, this might also be helpful to others. There might be friends or there might be family or even strangers in your timeline who can actually be benefiting from this if they have heard or they may be struggling also of being in isolation or being misjudged. And so, invite them also into cleanliness in Jesus Christ or through Jesus Christ. Then like and share this video. Again, thank you very much for joining me online today, and I hope to see you again next week. But tomorrow, there will be another speaker to be sharing with you, another great character in the Bible. Mapagpalang umaga po at victorious morning sa ating lahat. Bye!